Well done, Kratos. I yield.
Good then.
Perhaps you are ready now.
Hello guys, this is Cody Gordon Lee Gamrat. What's your name? Anytime now.
Delete it.
No, this is so
I
fun.
didn't know you. I didn't know you wanted me to.
This is
do-
Christy Caroline Johnson. Alright guys, so we platinumed God of War Valhalla. Hello, my name is Cody Gordon Lee Gamrat.
I'm Christy.
What's your middle name?
Kaylane.
And last name.
Shuts.
That's her. Alright guys, so as you know, we did have a Platinum Run series. We completed 2018 God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Valhalla did come out December 12th or 13th, I believe, last year for free. Free DLC that was announced. Santa Monica 8 with it. It was a phenomenal DLC. We both love God of War a lot. We didn't really get into it until technically God of War 4. We have yet to play the Greek trilogy, which we do mention in our original video, the Ragnarok video. Our Platinum Run on that, so the 20 minutes, 20-second video. We do mention we have not played the Greek trilogy. I did end up buying the God of War collection, which has 1 and 2 on PlayStation 3. I was going to play these with Christy and get 3 remastered on PS4, but there are rumors and rumblings of, for the 20th anniversary, a God of War Greek trilogy remaster / remake for the PS5. So I'm kind of holding out for that right now, just for the more cleaner graphics look, and I'm really curious to see if they do go that route. If they do, we will be playing through that trilogy and making a Platinum Run video on that, as this series holds really dear to both of our hearts. As of right now, it is my favorite gaming franchise, so that's kind of where I stand with that on the Greek side of things. We will start off, though, with kind of where we left off in Ragnarok. Is in one part in the video we talk about Kratos' growth and how, from my understanding especially, and the little bits we learn in Valhalla, is it seems like it's kind of split into 2 parts, where Nordic is seen as the redemption route of Kratos, where 1 through 3 is looked more as the vengeful route. When he's younger, more revenge, blood hungry, and now he's kind of becoming more noble, is kind of how I view the Nordic series, which Valhalla touches on a lot. I do honestly wish, which I can't change it, that I would have played the Greek games way back in the day, because a lot of things in Valhalla I think would hit a lot deeper, kind of like when you get the Chaos Blades in 2018. I think that moment would hit a lot deeper as well. Sadly, I don't have those ties to those older games, but I'm excited to play them eventually. And I think Valhalla, honestly, as mentioned before in Ragnarok's video, caps off his growth excellently. And I think a lot of things Valhalla does is a 10 out of 10 again from me from both the games. That's kind of where I'm at the moment with Valhalla. What are your thoughts on Valhalla?
I loved it. I thought it was super fun. I loved the extra story, which was really cool. Seeing how the painting came through for Kratos and what the meaning was of him being the main feature.
The mural, yes. And when you play Ragnarok and you see the backside of it, which is still my top 3 favorite scenes, as mentioned before, it's really cool because you can end it there and you could end it there and you'd be like, okay, I see where they're going. But Valhalla kind of adds a cherry on top, symbolizing what the mural really means. And spoiler alert, at the end of Valhalla, when he walks out with the axe, it's a direct mirror to what's on the mural that Faye did. So I think it's really cool to see him have to conquer and kind of go through his memories and fears of Greek and really just be like, these are the actions I took, this is what I did, this is why I did it at the time, regardless if it was right or wrong. And I think without Valhalla, you can still have the ending, but it's really cool to see him conquer those feats to then have the ending we get in Valhalla with him wanting to rebuild the Nordic realms with Freya.
Yeah. I think it's cool to see all of the different people that were involved in those trials as well. Mm-hmm. And the people that helped him get through all those trials.
Agreed, and you can see a lot of cool things like that in Valhalla too. They touch back on his memory of Helios. You get to see some cool things mentioned briefly of Hercules, and you get some new villains actually in Valhalla that weren't in the Nordic games because of the Greek ones. We get Sirens, Cyclopses. I think they're called the Walkers, are the other skeleton guys we get too. One giant surprise which I didn't know going in is, if you know me at all in real life, I actually really, really like Tyr, and he's not really prevalent at all in Ragnarok. He's there, obviously, Odin is faking him, and then you get a teeny bit of dialogue from Tyr once you rescue him out of the prison, and that's about it. I was blown away by getting full-fledged Tyr in Valhalla. I did not expect it. You had to fight him. We each fought him 3 times in total.
Yeah.
And I love his character even more personally now.
Yeah, it took me forever to beat him.
The last time.
Yeah, the very last fight. So worth it, though. I liked the things that you get when you walk into the door as well. They were kind of like your reward for beating Tyr.
Oh, you mean like after you beat him, like when you go through the doors on what you get
Yeah.
reward-wise? Yes, it is a roguelike DLC, which some of you may know what that is. So it's always NRG related, so number random generator, and you always get a different rule set when you go through. If you die once, you restart from the beginning. I actually liked that. Thought it worked out great. Free DLC, came out very clean.
Not everything was the same when you died and started as well.
No, yeah, the roguelike, because it's always randomized.
Yeah.
Another big feat we have as well in God of War Valhalla, actually, is we get 2 other Valkyries. I believe it's Ire and Gunnar, who have different stories that you get to hear throughout the levels you complete in Valhalla. I personally like Ire's story a little bit more, if that's how you pronounce her name. Gunnar's is very resembling of Kratos' story, with kind of more rageful and then kind of taking that rage and benefiting from it and becoming more well-adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Where Ire's story is really cool, where her dad's like, I don't like magic, do the old school herbal way, and then he passes away because she didn't have the magic to heal him, which he would have needed instead of the herbal, and I like how it flips later on, where she had to learn both. I actually like her story a lot.
Well, she learned at the end where she needed both.
Mm-hmm.
She needed the herbal and the magic, and
To
that's
save him.
because her teacher who was teaching her the magic had the same issue that her dad did.
Yeah, it was flipped.
Yeah, and that's why.
It was a balance of both.
Yeah, it was learning the balance of both, and kind of learning to take teachings at your own pace.
Agreed, yeah, and it's great lessons all throughout. One of my favorite things, which still sticks with me, is a line Tyr says to Kratos, where Kratos is like, what I did was wrong and I shouldn't have done it. And he's like, it led to all this. And Tyr's like, yes, but with the information you had at the time, you made the decision that made the most sense to you. You can't be mad at the decision you made because of the outcome, because you didn't know what it was. You thought you did what was best in the moment. I think that's a beautiful quote, personally.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And there's a lot of weight to that. Another thing here I have in my notes that I wrote down here for Valhalla is the love aspect between Mimir and Sigrun, actually.
Yes.
If you fully complete Valhalla and you get the secret ending, you will get Sigrun flying away, and she's like, I have to go find myself, and that's where her journey ends. And that's actually where a lot of the dialogue cuts there for Mimir going forward. My theory was actually she was going to lead with Mimir, and they were going to go on their own, and then Kratos would fully be by himself with that acceptance and move forward with Freya. It's cool Mimir still stays with them. I get if they do another pantheology, they'll want Mimir with him. That does make sense just for like money perspective. But story-wise, I saw it going both ways, and they kind of teased it a little bit. I do think they're setting up Sigrun. I actually like her character a lot, but I feel like they're setting her up to wherever you go in another pantheon, as I feel like she'll definitely be there, and I feel like that's kind of what they're alluding to a little bit. It's like, oh, this is where she's at, and you happen to be there at the same time.
That'd be cool if you get to fight with her.
Like, as, like, helping out or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd have her, like, in another situation, how with, like, Odin, how she was trapped, and...
I don't think they would. I don't think they would
do it another way.
Speaking of that, when Tyr first shows up, Christy mentions in the game, he sounds a little sinister, and I was like, he definitely does. I just didn't think they would do that. I'm curious what other people thought. Because if you have an imposter version of a character that's bad, and then you make the real one bad, it kind of dilutes the story in a way, and I think it's bad storytelling.
To make them both bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would have been the best move to go with, but I loved everything we got on those side of things. And then we already touched on the mural as well. Ending of Ragnarok, back to something mentioned in the Ragnarok video, which we made as well on my YouTube, check it out, is we mentioned that it concludes the 5 games, and no one expected Valhalla, which, again, concludes the 5 games, where it's another cherry on top, and I am still at a point where I'm like, I could see an Atreus spinoff with Angerborda going to find the Giants. They lead that up at Ragnarok, he leaves, that makes sense to me. I genuinely don't know how they have Kratos go to another pantheon makes sense with where they're at. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I just can't think of something, because he went through the recollection of Valhalla. He's like fully conquered his Greece mentality, and now he's rebuilding the realm. So I don't know what would make him leave, and I really hope they don't go the route of like, maybe, I just really hope they don't do the damsel in distress, like Atreus getting captured and Angerborda has to come and get Kratos, like, hey, like, come help. I don't think I would like that a whole lot.
I don't think they would do that anyway.
I hope not, yeah. That's just one thing I wouldn't like, but I loved Valhalla overall. I think it concludes all 5 games very well. I know I said earlier pantheology. I meant pantheon, but that's what I said at the beginning.
I didn't catch it,
pantheology. Sorry. No, it's okay.
Or I would have corrected it for you.
And then looking at my notes here, I think that was mainly all our things on that side of things. We touched on all our notes there. I really like Valhalla. I love that it was free. I'm really hoping they do make the Greek Trilogy remastered / remake for PlayStation 5. We definitely play through those and platinum those as well. We did get 100% of the trophies, obviously, in Valhalla. We'll post at the end of the video as well.
The side stories in the other games are so good, and I think because we did 100% the other games, I think it even made Valhalla better.
It made it better. I just still feel like you don't get the full experience unless you grew up with the Greek ones. I feel like it hits harder. Like when you pull up the Blade of Olympus,
for sure.
we thought it was dope as hell. But there are people online, I saw reactions, they were going nuts. Because they're like, well, we haven't seen this in like 10 years. And we're just like, oh, like, this is cool.
Yeah. No,
like, it doesn't hit as hard.
For sure. I completely agree with that. But I'm just saying, for what we went through, and if other people didn't play the old games as well,
yeah,
I feel like 100%ing the other games makes the experience for Valhalla
like 4 and 5
even so much more better.
Agreed. You get more depth with the characters. You feel more of a connection to both of them. Mainly like Mimir and Kratos, since Atreus isn't present in this game.
And all the things they went through together and the changes that they went through together, like, it just makes sense.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Overall, we've loved the series as a whole. We own the God of War Collection 4 and 5. Like I said, I did buy this one so we could play the older games before I've heard the rumors of the remake trilogy. If they do not make the remake trilogy, and if it's just a complete rumor in the rumblings, we will be playing through the old ones just because I do have 1 and 2 and we'll get 3. So I'm pretty excited that came out in 05, as most of you know. So that's kind of what we'll do on that side of things. But and it even has a voucher for God of War 3, which is pretty rare, which came out in 09. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, overall, we love this series. We'll continue to make videos on the trilogy if we do platinum them. I don't know if we'll do a full set. We might, and then maybe do... we'll either do a full set, I think, on the original Greek trilogy, or we'll do like each one separately. They're not as long, and it might be maybe more interesting to like beat a game, take our thoughts on it, and then maybe move on instead of binging all 3. I think that might be the route we go, maybe.
We'll see.
To kind of get some more content on there and just get our initial thoughts before just kind of like binging through it.
Because
I do feel like if you beat 4 and 5, binging them wise, like if you beat them like within a few weeks or a month and don't have like a waiting period, I feel like they're not as like climactic. I don't know. I feel like if you go through the game at a steady pace and don't binge it, it hits a lot harder and you feel like you grow with the characters compared to just viewing this person's life from like a third eye and then they're just done within 7 days.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view it. But that's pretty much everything on that side of things, guys. The centaurs are actually a Greek villain they brought in, by the way, too.
Yeah, those were
they're rough.
Pain in the butt.
They were rough.
Pain in the butt to fight.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy our Valhalla Platinum Run video. I highly recommend it. If I didn't give my rating on the games now, I give all 3 God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok, and Valhalla still all 10 out of 10s. I still like the 2018 scenery the best. The snow is really cool, and Valhalla has a really cool atmosphere. You can go to different realms. I just really like the sunshine and the grass and the serpent that's sleeping in the water in the 2018 one more, and I like that spring-summer aesthetic a lot more than the summer with the dogs. I just find that more appealing, personally. But I think they're all great.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
I think they're both great.
Yeah.
I like the winter. I think it's really pretty.
The Ragnarok setting? I just like the spring and summer one more.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it does have prettier moments.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're great. Both beautifully. Beautiful pictures.
Beautiful pictures.
Beautiful pictures. Picture beautiful.
Alright, guys. And then, as usual, as in the 2018 one in Ragnarok, we post our favorite scenes at the beginning and the end of the video. Behind the scenes in the 2018 one. There aren't really a lot of scenes necessarily in Valhalla because it is a roguelike and it's very just like little cutscenes split in between. My favorite shot of Valhalla is actually when Tyr and Kratos mirror what they did with Odin back in the first one. You think it's Tyr, and then he pulls them up and they're holding hands side by side. I think seeing both God of Wars from Greek and Nordic look beautiful. That's my favorite shot. Do you have a favorite scene or shot from Valhalla?
Ooh, yeah, there was a couple. There was the one where he's coming out of the doors and I just beat Tyr. He's holding the axe.
Final time, yeah.
Yeah, that one was one of my favorites. And then the one that I screenshotted with when he was looking out on that ledge.
We might have it on there, yeah. I'll post that if we have it in there.
Oh,
one more thing. She was really hoping they would do this, and they did. They do talk about Calliope and Lysandra, his wife and daughter from the Greek trilogy.
I kept calling it.
She wanted them to. She wanted him to mention them, which he does. We don't know a lot of them. I know a little bit of the story from the Greek ones, but
yeah,
it was cool to hear that she really wanted it. She got it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I got it.
So
I got it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
This is our 3rd thing we platinumed. Moving on to 4 very soon. And we will catch you guys later. Have an amazing night as we go play Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon on PlayStation 5. The boss just took me 12 hours.
I'm a top him. Have a fantastic night.
The world that hardens as the harsher winter holds. The parent forced to eat its young before it grows. Every bird gone unheard, starving where the ground is froze. The winter sunrise, red